I was born and raised Jewish. I never wore that little hat, like the special hat that lets everybody know what ethnic group you're a member of and what you believe in. Like this is pretty fucking bad. I mean, being seen in public with the Bernie Sanders cap on, yeah. You know the signal you're sending out to the world. But no matter which religion your parents or grandparents may have chosen for you, do you really want to wear a hat? Whether it's a turban, whether it's a kippah, no matter what kind of headdress or headscarf you're imagining, you really want to make your religious affiliation into a hat. Now look, I had an atheist phase. I grew out of it. But I had a period of time in my life where I was an atheist and I was into atheism. I thought, isn't this barbaric? Isn't this barbaric that these people would go around advertising their religion, their beliefs, on their head? I come from, a much more intellectually refined tradition where I express my religious conviction by having a surgeon cut off part of my dick.
These green ribbons have been placed by parents and students in support of Miss Fatima, a grade 3 teacher at Chelsea Elementary School who lost her job over the hijab she wears.
When it actually affects the people there's a bigger shock value to it.
Miss Fatima lost her teaching job due to Bill 21, the province's law that bans people in certain government jobs, including teachers, from wearing religious symbols while at work. These ribbons hang on the fence of an Anglophone school in Chelsea, Quebec. They're green, the color of Islam, in support of Fatima Anvare, who lost her teaching job because she wears a hijab. About 100 parents and their children gathered to protest Quebec's secularism law. Fatima Anvare was reassigned to an administrative position. The incident reignited the secularism debate in Quebec.
Amrit Kaur recently graduated to become a teacher and has now moved her life across the country from her Montreal area home to BC. She wants to work while wearing her turban, which is illegal in Quebec public schools.
We are being told that we're second-class citizens.
She's also the vice president of the World Sikh Organization of Quebec. Kaur says her turban represents equality and is part of her identity.
It was one of the big moments in the federal election, a debate question about a Quebec law, Bill 21.
Why the discriminatory laws in your
It was the first question of the night to the Bloc Québécois leader, who was indignant.
Those laws are not about discrimination. They are about the values of Quebec.
Other leaders, then chasing voters in Quebec, turned on the moderator. But after a Quebec school board enforced Bill 21 this week by removing a teacher from her classroom for wearing a hijab, federal politicians were quick to denounce it.
Symbolism is a sign of weakness. It's a sign of weakness we don't take seriously enough. If you're not ashamed of your religion, if you're not ashamed of your beliefs, and you want to say to the world that you're not ashamed, why don't you have your beliefs written out in plain English on your t-shirt or on your hat instead of relying on symbolism? If you really believe that all women should remain virgins until marriage, why don't you write that on your hat? Why don't you write that on your t-shirt? If you believe that all women should remain virgins and then they should be married off to a man chosen by their parents in an arranged marriage, if that's what you believe, if you believe that the Bible and the Quran are pro-slavery and that God doesn't make mistakes, that it's no error, it's no accident. The Bible is pro-slavery, and therefore you are pro-slavery. The Quran is pro-slavery, and therefore you are pro-slavery. Why don't you write that on your fucking t-shirt? Why don't you go around wearing that on your hat? Why rely on symbolism if the whole fucking point of this symbol is to declare that you're not ashamed of what it is you believe in? Let me tell you something. My parents cut off part of my penis in a ritual that could be described as satanic rather than biblical. When I was a newborn baby, my parents cut off part of my penis, and I lost 60% of the nerve endings in my penis as a blood sacrifice to a God that does not exist. Would you be willing to employ a teacher, to have someone teach your children in school who has it not symbolically expressed on a hat, their style of dress, in a headscarf and a turban, but who has it written on their chest explicitly in plain English that what they believe is that cutting off that part of the penis, that that's perfectly normal, that that's okay, that they want to pass on the excuses for that ritual to the next generation. I believe in these modern excuses for the barbarity of the Dark Ages. That's what you're trying to say in your hat. That's what you're trying to say on your t-shirt. And it does disqualify you from being a school teacher. It should disqualify you from playing any role in government whatsoever.
A 27-year-old woman is making history because of her headscarf and her new job in television. Tahira Rahman was a behind-the-scenes producer, and now she's an on-air reporter in Rock Island, Illinois. Dana Kozlov has the story.
I never really thought it was a possibility.
The former Naperville resident is almost a week into her new reporting job, and she also happens to be the first full-time Muslim TV reporter to wear her hijab on the air.
It's huge for our community. It's huge for women.